What is up, winning team? I just wanted to come on here to inform you all. Did you guys know that this year, in the month in which I was born, I believe, the alleged victim, Virginia Greffer of now no longer Prince, but ex-Prince Andrew, took her own life? Guys, this is what I'm saying when I say welcome back to another episode of I Hate It Here. Because imagine, right? And we're about to come up to another example in just a sec. Is this when the streetlights go on? Anyway, I guess so, because the sun's about to set. Anyway, so I was, you guys all know who've been here for a long time. We followed this whole thing for a long time. We followed the whole case of when she was supposed to go to court, and we were all hoping for this justice, right? Which you guys know my thing. It was like with the Diddy thing. I told you I'm not watching the case. I'm not following it. I know what this world is like, and I know justice don't live here. And honestly, it kind of makes sense that I recorded this video now, because I still haven't uploaded the videos of what happened to the Watchers. And there we see an example of God delivering justice to all involved, and how just orderly he is and fair with his judgments. You'll see, like, for example, one of them is like Azazel, who was one of the Watchers who came, who taught humans the art of like weaponry, like how to get metals, how to turn them into swords and armor and stuff. Yeah, because he crossed the boundaries with humans. God was like, you will be bound. So he's bound in the earth itself for 70 generations, all the way until the final judgment day. He's bound. I believe it's under a desert with chains that were whatever. Anyways, not important right now. And that was his thing. It's like, you want to go and break the boundaries? Well, now I'm going to put you in the severest of boundaries. You want to take darkness to the world and turn to the darkness? Well, now you'll live in darkness forever. You know what I mean? You want to bring darkness to the humans? Now you're going to live in dark. You're going to just be there sleeping. So he's just sleeping for 70 generations in darkness, right? Until final judgment day, when he's still going to end up going to hell anyway. And this is because of the fact that it's because of him that all of this tyranny, when it comes to all this weaponry, think to this day, this is all because of this decision of this one of the 200 Watcher angels. So no wonder that God's like, yeah, you're going to just be there in darkness for this entire time before I then come to judge you, because that's what you wanted to do, right? You wanted to bring darkness, you want to be in darkness? Well, now you get to enjoy darkness, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's fair, 100% fair. But anyway, what do we see of this Virginia? Now, also allegedly, because we live in a world where unless you can get the system that's run by the devil anyway, unless you can get the system to give you proof, right? Unless you get the system to give you proof, then everything is alleged, and I could be sued for defamation. This is what we're living in. So the fact that he's been stripped of his title, he's still going to be entitled to a lot of things, right? Because I think it was like his mum, before she died, had donated money because he was no longer getting public funds, but it was like millions, like tens of millions. So you mean now this guy gets to just chill somewhere because he can't do his duties? Oh no, now he doesn't have to do his duties, but stripped of his title. He's on a little timeout, probably one of these freaking palaces, one of these castles from the flipping royal family in this country, right? With all this money, probably more time to still be going to God knows whoever else's other islands, because we don't know anything we don't know, do we? Right? And meanwhile, this young lady, right? Because if you guys remember, and this is key, when they had the court case, she, initially, it was this whole thing. We were all like excited for it. You see what I'm saying, guys? This is another episode of I Hate It Here. Look at this. See this? I hope you guys are tracking. I just keep showing you little peeps. This is like just not even a big forest. It's just like a patch of forest here. But look at how they've cut it down again. Are you seeing this? If you watch my videos frequently, you'll notice, because I try to show you, look, especially here you could tell. My goodness, on another episode of I Hate It Here. And do you know why this bothers me? Because like 10, 20, 30 years from now, we'll be having stupid governmental schemes. So they're like, the government is now dedicating, look. the government is now dedicating 50 million this year to increasing the quality of the air as the pollution has risen 20% in the last 10 years. It's like, yeah, look, these are called God's air filters right here, the trees. See that? And do you know how long it would have taken for these things to grow? This is why it's annoying me. This is something we could just fix overnight. Do you know how long it would have taken these trees to grow to these heights? And we're just cutting them off. We literally ruin everything. Like, this whole series, I hope you guys can see, like, I wasn't delusional when I was saying, I thought maybe I'm making a big deal. I always think that. Maybe I'm making a big deal of nothing. No, we ruin everything. We ruin everything. So now, yeah, look. This used to be such a fun little forest to walk into, and it all used to be all... I actually did some videos here. I'm glad I got footage because I can show you, and I've got photos. I'm going to do some before and afters and some things as well for you guys. But yeah, look at this. Look at this. Horror. And this isn't even one of the biggest forests. I haven't even walked to a lot of my favorite forests, like the proper ones, like the proper big ones, because I'm scared, honestly, that I'm going to like have a mental breakdown. Anyway. Yeah, so if you guys remember with her case, it all ties in together. I walked past this area on purpose for the sake of this video as well. Yeah, she had gone to the case. They were going to do everything. Then if you guys remember, overnight, I have a whole playlist. It's called like The Royal Family of videos about this stuff. She went to the case and then they were like, oh, over the weekend, just when he was about to have all the proof that was available become public, right? Just when that was about to happen, they all decided overnight, on one night, over one weekend, that they were going to have private proceedings where the judge wasn't even there, and his lawyers and her lawyers made a deal, and basically she got like a 30 million settlement. Obviously, the money wasn't worth it, which is something I know already. I've said this to you guys, like, money doesn't pay, like, this just goes to show that money really is the god of this world, as I've said many a time. But obviously, you know, at the time, maybe she thought, yeah, money is the answer. But obviously it wasn't, because look, she took her life in the end. Think about that. Think about the fact that, like, she's still got all this money. They ended up settling outside of court. Anyways, I don't know why people think justice is possible here, because anybody here, like, if you have the power to wield a bunch of money, this is why these people are so obsessed with money, then you can just easily take advantage of people, because most people in the world, all over the world, are in a situation where they could benefit off of a lot of money. So it's like, are you going to push for your trial that you deserve? Or would you rather the payoff? Because let's be real and let's be honest here. You probably would favor the payoff. You'd probably be like, well, yeah, I would like justice, or yeah, I would like to stand up on behalf of the other people. Like, this is why I'm like, God, we need to get to the promised land. And this is also why I say I hate it here. I hate it here. We're coming into the Christmas season. I'm not wanting to make it to next year because this place is the ghetto. You got Andrew's not Prince anymore. Big whoop, oh, big deal, right? Probably sitting there with his millions, probably, you know what I mean, doing whatever, having an entire evergreen tree for his Christmas tree and enjoying himself, maybe popping out to whatever island with the private jet with mommy's money. Virginia's not even making it to 2026 because she's taking her flipping damn life. Like, I hate this place. And look, and they're cutting the trees down again. Every single time I'm coming up this road, and like all these places I'm going, all these places I grew up around here, the natural air filtration services of the Lord, right? The trees that take years, like it's going to take generations of people have been here for while those trees have been there. And we're just chopping them off, and for what? And for what? And then it's going to be 10 years from now. We're now increasing the taxes because we have a lot of new things we need to spend money on. The government's new scheme now to be able to, that we understand that the air filtration is something that's affecting people's health. And so we're going to be donating 100 million this quarter to installing air. Like, there'll be some machine that requires electricity that burns more fossil fuels. And it's like, we literally had the trees that we could have just left them there. We could just left them there. Like, this is what I'm saying when I say to you guys, like, this place is actually hell. This is hell. Like, I don't know why we're questioning or wondering why there's evil in the world or why God this. If God is trying to do his best, God literally created those things there. God has his own justice system, which you guys are going to see more about in this upcoming videos. He does things properly. What do? This is what we do. We destroy everything. And then when we have to try and rectify it, it makes things even more destroyed. Because now, like I said, now I can tell, I can feel it right now, the air quality. Because I remember distinctively, this is why I'm so passionate about it, when I was living in London and during COVID, or the lockdown at least, I was on a second floor flat. in the middle of lockdown, and I hated it because I like being outdoors. One of the things I always used to do when I used to come back here from London is I always used to get off the train, and as soon as the train doors would open, I was taking a big gust of fresh, air from this area that has so many nice trees, and the air is so filtered. It was like in Poland. The air in Poland was so crisp, and that's because they got a lot of forests that are just protected. Even wolves are a protected animal there. The UK could never, right? England could never. Air was so fresh, like it was fresh to the point that it was sweet. Like even while I was standing, like had a sweet smell to it. Like even when I was standing at the airplane, I was about to get on, coming back, I was like, oh, I'm just going to take that one last gust because the air was just so beautiful. And you could see in so many areas, there was just so many large areas where there was just nothing being built. And where this country is so small, mind you, that's why they have to keep building everything upwards because they've got nowhere to go outwards, right? The air was so sweet and just fresh. And like, I can tell now, like the days when I come off the train, I'm coming from the city and I get that gust of fresh air. I was like, I'm never going to take that for granted ever again, you know? So now when I'm seeing this, I'm like, I can tell the air quality because it's something I've been paying attention to for literally a decade. Since I was 18 when I moved out, I've always been somebody that I appreciate. And also I grew up hanging out in all these forests, in all these bushes and all these whatevers. Most people wouldn't even know what's going on, wouldn't even know left from right. You can probably walk through this whole town and go like a forest route, and maybe you have to like cross a road here and there. But you could probably walk through the entire of the town just through forests alone. You know what I mean? So to see them doing this, and for what? It's increasing the amount of littering going on. It's killing the habitats of the animals. Do you know another thing I'm going to be talking about? Do you know that even outside of people that believed in God, in the other parts of the world, in the very earliest stages, the earliest other belief systems, earliest other religions, was the animalists, right? And they believed that we as humans were all supposed to live in, they lived a relationship-based life where we live in relationship with the animals and the plants and the nature, and we all live together. Again, it was because of the Watcher angels that we went from, and that whole story arc, according to Enoch, where we went from we're living with the animals to controlling the animals. Now we're testing things out on animals. Now we're killing them just to be able to say we killed them, not even, for the rightly so reasons of food and all of that stuff. Now we're doing all this. This is insane. And then to correct that, instead of just us looking after the nature and just eating and looking for the things that God created, people are like, oh, we want to protect the animals, so we're going to eat something that comes out of a lab. Are we flipping dumb out here? Like, we are so stupid. I just can't deal with how stupid we are. Anyways, I got to go into the store. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and say that because I was getting so annoyed about other things. I knew these things were going to annoy me more, but I just thought, look, this is where we're at the end of 2025. We're cutting, every year we're at the worst stage than we were the last as a world. That's my point. Every year we're getting worse. Every year it's worse. This year, okay, well, there was hope. Like Diddy's got a little slap on the wrist. Diddy's get a little slap on the wrist. Even Bonnie Blue, who at least is having consensual situations with people. Not that I necessarily agree with her lifestyle, but at least she's being consensual, seeing more time than Diddy. That's how we're ending 2025. So sorry if I'm not in the mood, everybody, for the holiday season and I'm not participating, but I don't know what there's to celebrate. I don't know. There's a lot to mourn, to be honest. Anyways, life's a game. Let's play to win. God bless you all. God loves you. I love you. And I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.